Hello, future JRF candidates. Welcome back to Lightning Success. How's your UGC NET preparation going? It's time to boost your preparation and stay focused. Think of this video as a small milestone in your journey to success. Today, we are focusing on international agreements from People and Environment Unit in Paper 1. This is an important topic because every year multiple questions come from this section. So make sure to watch this video fully and note down the key points. International agreements. Before going in depth into it, we must know the need of it. In both developed and developing countries, states take some efforts to achieve rapid industrialization and modernization, which leads to global warming, ozone layer deterioration, deforestation, air pollution, resource depletion, and so on. These issues are not in local or national in nature, but in global, transboundary, and transnational, which demands collective actions by all the countries to achieve desired objective. That's how these agreements were formed. They address ecological problems and they work as a platform to all the countries where they can deliberate, discuss, and work collectively to deal with complex ecological issues. As a result, the first international agreement, that is, International Convention for the Regulation of Whaling, was formed in 1946. Their objective is to regulate and control the limitless exploitation of maritime resources. But this agreement ended up in failure. Stockholm Conference was also known as United Nations Conference on Human Environment. It was signed in June 1972 at Stockholm, Sweden. That's why it was called the Stockholm Conference. It was considered as the first major worldwide attempt to address the global environmental problem and preserve the human environment. That is, it was the first world serious attempt to address environmental problem at the international level. Also, it was considered as the world's first global conference on environment. Under the Stockholm Conference, different agencies and agreements such as Stockholm Declaration, Stockholm Convention, United Nations Environment Program were formed. In the Stockholm Conference, international organizations were compelled to make several measures to deal with the environmental problems. The next one is United Nations Environment Program, shortly referred as UNEP. This is considered as one of the greatest achievements of the Stockholm Conference. It was signed in December 1972 at Nairobi, Kenya. Their main objective is to promote global cooperation on ecological issues, guide other UN's environmental agency, and so on. They promote the sustainable use of natural resources. Also, they intend to raise public awareness about dangers of environmental change and deterioration. For this, they developed an international monitoring system called Earthwatch. This Earthwatch enables global and national actions to assess potential risks and threats to human environment. Also, it enables government in a free flowing exchange of information and ideas. Provides this extended technical support to a number of international conventions such as Montreal Protocol, Convention on Biological Diversity, and so on. Montreal Protocol was also popularly called as Montreal Protocol on Substances that Deplete the Ozone Layer. It was signed in 1987 at Montreal, Canada. Their objective is to protect the stratospheric ozone layer by regulating the production and consumption of ozone depleting substances such as chlorofluorocarbon, carbon tetrachloride, halogens, and methyl chloroform. Kindly note down these ozone depleting substances which may be asked in the NET exam. At initial stage, this Montreal Protocol was intended to reduce the manufacture and usage of chlorofluorocarbons and halogens. Rio Conference, popularly called as United Nations Conference on Environment and Development, or the EarthSummit, Summit. It was signed in 1992 at Rio de Janeiro. It was considered as the largest environmental conference in UN history. Their focus area were biodiversity, climate change, pollution, forest management, poverty, and sustainable use of resources. The main agreements and documents signed under the Rio Conference were Declaration on Environment and Development, Convention on Biological Diversity, United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change, and Agenda 21. Biological diversity, shortly referred as CBD. It was also called as a biological treaty, which recognized the central role of biological diversity. It has three key objectives. The first one is the sustainable use of biological diversity. Second is conservation of biodiversity. And the last one is fair and equitable sharing of benefits. Under the Convention of Biological Diversity, all the countries developed their national strategy to protect their own biodiversity, especially their endangered species. Their main objective is to initiate measures that conserve biodiversity and sustainable use for the benefits of present and future generations. Agenda 21. It was considered as the most important agreement signed under the ET Summit, also called as the International Blueprint or Global Plan of Action. This agreement was signed by 180 countries in their local, regional, national, and global levels. Its function is divided into four sections. The section 1, which is titled as Social Economic Dimension, involves policy making, planning, and management. The second section is the conservation and management of resources for development. It involves management of land resources, combat deforestation, sustainable development of mountain ecosystem, sound management of toxic chemicals, hazardous waste, and radioactive waste. The third section is strengthening the role of major groups. It highlights the role of all the stakeholders at global and national levels. The fourth section is the means of implementation. It identifies the means and resources required to ensure and review the implementation of Agenda 21. Paris Agreement. Paris Agreement, also called as Paris Climate Accord or Paris Climate Agreement. This Paris Agreement was adopted on 12th December 2015 at the Conference of Paris 21. They enhanced the implementation of United Nations Framework Convention of Climate Change, that is UNFCCC, and they tended to replace the Kyoto Protocol. They strengthened the global capacity of dealing with potential impacts of climate change, and they plan to limit the temperature increase to 1.5 degrees Celsius. Also, they strengthen the global coordinated efforts. Let's try out some previous questions. It's time to test ourselves. Which agreement is considered the most successful in environmental protection? Option A, Kyoto Protocol, B, Montreal Protocol, C, Rio Declaration, and the D is Paris Agreement. The answer is Montreal Protocol. The next one is the arrange the following in chronological order: Rio Summit, Kyoto Protocol, Paris Agreement. Can anyone know the answer? The answer is option A. 1. Rio Summit, 2. Kyoto Protocol, 3. Paris Agreement. Which international agreement is related to the protection of the ozone layer? Option A, Kyoto Protocol, B, Montreal Protocol, C, Rio Declaration, D, Stockholm Declaration. The answer is option B, Montreal Protocol. The next question is, the Paris Agreement is mainly concerned with option A, ozone depletion, B, biodiversity, C, climate change, option 4, D is marine pollution. The answer is option C, climate action. Which of the following agreements deals with greenhouse gas emission reduction? Option A, Vienna Convention, B, Montreal Protocol, C, Kyoto Protocol, D, Ramsar Convention. Post your answers in the comment section. That's all today. If you want to know more about international agreement, comment it. If you need more videos, like and subscribe the lightning success to attain light in your life. Thank you.